Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Shirley. How you doing, Robert? You can hear me, right?
Yes, I hear you very well.
There you go.
Good
Now
morning.
we're connected. All right. We had a little technical difficulty this morning, and we are good to go. I think we're having a little bit more difficulty with Janice's entry, but we'll be good to go. Here's what we're going to do. Let me get started right away. So first of all, welcome everyone to the Breakfast Club. And as you see, some of the people here putting in some comments, and yes, condolences to Boomer's family. It's been we had a wonderful call last night, and people sharing their stories, friends of Boomers, and it was just a heartfelt call. And we're excited today to move on with our Karatbar family and just hope that all is just going to move forward for everyone. So, Robert, what we're going to do is just get started with you. We'll look for Janice here by the end of the call. And Robert Lavillier is an author, an educator, a motivator that has helped thousands of people worldwide. He is a successful businessman that just understands human nature. He understands the reasons why people go and become successful and why people fail. And we're very fortunate to have Robert with us here at Karatbars. He has a very large group in Karatbars and also, again, a successful businessman. And so what we're going to do is get right into our training, because what we need to do, Robert, is people need to understand the importance of jump-starting their business. We're at the early part of 2016, and we just need a lot of, a lot of support, I would say, in business and education on how to really do that. I know you've been successful over the years with people, and I'm looking forward to this training. And we're going to, for everyone know, we're going to have this for the next couple of weeks. We'll continue on, but for now, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Robert Lavillier. Robert, welcome to the Breakfast Club.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be here also, and I'm happy to share some of the information that I learned. And basically, I've been an affiliate with Karatbar since 2011. I've been involved in many other businesses in network marketing actually since the 72. Actually worked a long time ago to prove to the government in the United States actually that we were not a pyramid. And that was with Amway and Mary Kay and all these dinosaurs of companies at that time, which were very successful. But one point that is very important, and a lot of people get into network marketing or into business, any business, and they all want to be successful, but they never really take time to really analyze and answer three questions. Who am I? Where am I going? And why? And it's something that my old uncle used to tell me when I was a kid. Who are you? Where are you going? And why? And basically, as a young fellow, when you're 12 to 15 years old, well, basically, you don't want to make money. When you grow up, you want a big car. You want to travel the world. You want to do a lot of stuff. And I asked my uncle at one time, and I'm going back now to 1957, 58, and I would say ask my uncle, I says, how can you make $500 a week? In those days, $500 a week was a lot of money. Well, he says, go see a man who makes $1,000 a week. Don't see your dad. Your dad loves you, but if he's not making $1,000 a week, he can't show you how to make 500. And that shocked me. I says, hey, that makes sense. Go find somebody that could be a mentor that has done it, and so forth. And basically, when I came out of high school, well, like a lot of young people, went in, started working directly into a job that somebody had referred me, a friend, and I hated that job. I worked a year and a half there. I said, if that's life, I said that to my mom, if that is life, to go every Monday to Friday and work hours, and even though I was making very good wages, I says, there must be something else to life, freedom and what have you. And I says, look, so I got out of that type of job, and my mom says, well, what would you like to do? I like people. I like to see things. I like to travel. So I went to sell shoes. Basically, for half the salary I was making in a warehouse, I went to sell shoes, and boy, I was happy. Now, you got to remember, that was the 60s. 60s, there was hot pants, big boots, and I was a young fellow, so playing around with young women that were trying shoes all the time, that was fun, but there was no money into this. There was no way to do it. So basically, I continued, and I moved on and went into insurance. And insurance, I didn't like the idea of that. Joined the cops. And then while I was in the police force, I did 5.5 years as a policeman in Montreal. Then I got the idea of going back to school and maybe learn something and find out how I could expand my horizons. My uncle was there to help me, and basically I went back to university. And in 1972, I graduated American Sales Master at Harvard University in Boston. But basically, since then, I've always been on my own. I've always been the one who decides what to do and not to do. And if I make a mistake, I make the mistake. It's not somebody else's fault. It's mine. I bought the package. And if I went well, I was the one who was getting the good revenues. So this is where you have to learn to take responsibility of your decisions. But, you know, what makes an entrepreneur successful? I think an entrepreneur is somebody who has dreams and he wants to realize, and he's looking for ways to do it. Over the past 30 years, I've been involved in more than 3,000 entrepreneur workshops. These seminars were addressed to salespeople and entrepreneurs, basically like you, from all kinds of industries. Businesswomen and businessmen, president of small and medium-sized enterprise, sales manager, directors of training for large national companies. Also had the privilege to work with professionals in a variety of fields: opticians, lawyers, dentists, notaries, accountants, engineers, consultants, and artists. And it has made possible for me to make these conclusions, basically, what I realized. All those involved in sales dream of success. They dream of a lifestyle which would permit them to be successful in their field. And this is what we're all in sales. I don't care what business or what profession you have, you're in sales. So you have to master, you got to learn this. Now, to those, all those involved, you know, basically they want to succeed, but not everybody has the talent. You know, but you know what's interesting? It's not the one that had the most talent often that succeed. I've seen people that did not have all the talent, but had the courage, the guts to learn, and they had overwhelming success. Those who succeed have learned to develop personal traits, qualities, which strangely resembles the characteristics of champions in many sports or disciplines. One thing is certain: if an individual, a businessman or woman, a professional, desire to increase his results and become a success, he must first learn to improve himself and work more on himself than on the product or his domain of activity. I invite you to pass and review the 10 qualities essentials to success, and I'm going to share them with you. First thing, it starts with desire of success. You know, it's Mr. Brown that says, you got to be hungry. Yes, you must have a desire, have a burning desire to do something out of your life. You must have self-confidence. You know, trust yourself, trust your decision. Often we hesitate. No, we have to trust. Actually, our subconscious gives us the signal. And we must be convinced to be able to convince others. Conviction. Enthusiasm. I love that word, enthusiasm, because enthusiasm means you're full of God, energy. Because if the olden days in Roman, and if you look at the Greek, basically enthusiasm is energy. Full of energy, enthusiasm, and have an attitude of a winner. Even when things are hard and difficult, never complain, never, you know, you always have to keep that attitude. It's going to be better. It's going to work. We're going to succeed. You have to have a vision of where you're going, and that attitude will make you attain this. And you're going to be persistent. Often, I see people in the network marketing, and I've been at it now more than 30 years, close to 40 years actually with my age. And I see a lot of people don't have that persistence. Often they were just about to succeed and would have a breakaway and really grow their organizations and their sales, but they quit. They go to another program. They start all over again. You know, this is a calamity. This is a disease we have in the network business. People don't have that persistence. They don't believe in themselves, don't have that real conviction. They don't take time to study. And you must have what I call a self-image. A lot of people, you know, say, what's your self-image? Is what you think of yourself. How are you going to make happen? And have empathy and creativity. You've got to get that imagination going. But all this will work at one condition, that you take action. This is what's important. Now, the only way things are going to change for you is when you change. Okay? The only way things are going to change for you is when you change, when you decide, when you are the responsible person. And this is what I want to share with you right now, is a basis of what we're going to be talking in the next 2 weeks, is the 90-day plan to success. A lot of people called it the 12 weeks to success, but you know, this is not what I want to talk to you about. I'm going to ask you something to do, which basically I'm going to ask a lot of you. But if you write it down, please take time to have a piece of paper in front of you, pen, and write this down. I decide for the next 90 days to accept the following without questioning. That is tough. That is tough, because you won't probably agree with what I'm going to tell you or I'm going to share with you. But if you believe and you put it in action and you stick with it for 90 days, I guarantee you your life's going to change. Second, that was the first part. First, you decide for 90 days to accept without questioning. 2, believe that there are 3 elements to success in business. There's only 3 important elements. First, product. You need a product, but it's not the most important element. You know, if you're with Karatbars, we know we got the best product in the world. If you're in nutrition, well, the company you're at will probably tell you that's the best nutrition product in the world. But that's not the most important. Then you got the marketing and revenues. Although exciting, it's still not the most important element. Well, people say, Robert, what do you mean? You got a good product and you got good revenues? No. The only element basically that has a variable in the 3 elements is you. For each individual, and the most important is you. That's the only variable. That's why some people with the same product don't succeed. Same marketing plan, don't succeed. It depends on you. You have to, basically, you and your attitude. And you have to understand, you are in control. Now, there's 3 things to make this happen. A, accept full responsibility for the way things are in your life. Wow, that's hard for a lot of people to accept. You know, they say, wait a minute, that's not my fault. My dad was poor, and I was not in the right family, or we went bankrupt, or we had to move, or there was a war, or all sorts of things. You have to accept full responsibility for the way things are in your life today. Rich people know it, poor people don't believe it. So don't be a poor person. Believe, accept it. Sometimes it's hard to accept that where we are and what we're living is our fault. But if we really analyze it truthfully, it is. We bought the story. We bought the deal. Oh, we got gypped, we got stolen, we went bankrupt. All sorts of things could happen to us. Too bad, so sad. You got to accept it. That's your life. That's where you're at. But what's beautiful is you got to assume full and complete responsibility for the way things are going to be in the future. Everything is only a result and not a cause. You see, that's what's wonderful. Everything is only a result. Once we grasp that, we understand that, that's where we're able to change. And like I said, the only way things are going to change for you is when you change. Now, rich people do this naturally because they know it lies within them. And C, have a clear idea of what it is you want, your goals, your projects. Let your subconscious go to work. Give it a clear picture. You know, I don't know if you ever, some people ever listen to The Secret. That's what they say. You have a mental picture. Has to be all the colors and all the things you want. Has to be in your mind. You got to work at it. And when it becomes in your mind so clear, it will materialize. If you don't like what's happening, change the picture. You know, often most of us spend more time thinking of what we don't want. Well, I don't want the bill collector to arrive. I don't want to do this. I don't want to have an accident. I don't want to be sick. I don't want. Whatever you don't want, you attract. Remember, the law of attraction is what you think about comes about. So you have to have that clear image of what you want. You must be committed to your project. Commitment. This is something now in basically in the 2016, 2015, since basically the 80s, people are afraid to commit. But that's the only way you'll succeed when you commit to a project. That's who I am, that's where I'm going, and this is why I'm going to do it. Because I'm committed to succeed in this matter at the level you choose. You know, this is what's so wonderful about life. You choose the level of success you want. You want a big castle? Why not? You're going to have to work a little bit, use more creativity, probably have to enrich a lot of people around you before, but the first thing you know, you will get that castle if you want and so desire. Now, if you don't like what happens, you can change your picture. Now, you must be committed to your project and to the process of success. The process. We hear that. I know often Don Geromo, Boomer, always talk the process. When you talk about the process, it's only a process. In the process of success, you got to how would I put this? Let it happen little by little, one step at a time. Everybody wants everything tomorrow, instant. Well, you know, you buy instant food. It's not exactly the best food, but the food that you take from basically from vegetables and the meat, and you cook it yourself, and you take the oil recipe, always much more tastier, better for your health than instant stuff and what have you. Well, basically it's the same thing in life. You can't have things instant. It has to come little by little. And guess what? When it gets tough, you have to work harder. You know, I look always at sales this way. You know, at the beginning, you probably have to do more calls, more doors, more people, more contacts, more emails, more of everything to get one sale. But once you know and you learned and you went through the process, actually, you probably make a sale every 2 customers you meet. And you make big sales and better sales. And you create friends and a relationship and what have you. Because now you understood that you have to work hard. Make the commitment that you'll keep going and will not fail. You know, that's a commitment to make. It says, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to succeed. I don't care if it's going to take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, but I'm going to succeed. Some people want this in the first 6 months. Don't happen. In films, yes. You know, you have a story with life and death, and so you could save the whole world in an hour and a half. That's not real life. You know, we have to work on it. You got to enjoy it now, or you won't enjoy it when you get it. A lot of people don't really understand that one. I'll give you an example. A few years ago, I was living in Toronto, and I was about 1980s, and I had this urge to get myself a limousine, a stretch limo. I figured, wow, this is going to be great, man. I'm going to have my limo, and I'm doing well in business. I was involved in real estate then, and I had a network of people very big and was doing very good with money-wise and so forth, and I wanted limo. And I went and got myself a brochure at Addison Cadillac. I put it on the wall, and I had this beautiful stretch limo there, and basically 90 days later, I was driving the limo. Now, in my dreams, that car was perfect. I found parking everywhere. It was great. Once I got the car, it was not exactly the same thing. You know, a stretch limo, you can't park that everywhere. You can't leave it in any parking lot. You have to have a chauffeur because somebody's going to steal your car. You've got to have a proper parking space. And also, that car, in those years, in 1982, there was a problem on it. They had the engines, which was 468, and they had a rumble in the back, and they finally devolved. So basically, the car was better in my mind. I was enjoying it more in my mind than when we actually had it, because then I had to put gas, had to pay a chauffeur, had to find a proper way to store the car, insurance, all these things, and that had the benefit. It was fun. I tell you, I kept it for 5 years. I had the most fun. I never had a parking ticket after that because I always had somebody, but I had to pay for it. But I was making the money for it. Make the commitment, you'll keep going, and you will not fail. You have to enjoy it now, or you won't enjoy it when you get it. Because in your mind is always better than in reality. Now, you must be willing to do whatever it takes. This is important. And I'll give you an example of this. And the time is going fast, so I won't hold you too long. But, you know, I heard a story once, and I was a young man when I heard that story, and it made sense. And basically, the story was, you wake up one morning, and you see yourself, you're going to a funeral, and you realize it's your funeral. And in that dream that I had, they asked me basically, why don't you write what you want people to say to your family, what they want to say about you? And what do you want your partners and business partners say about you? Why don't you write the letter of what your business associates say about you? What is the community going to say about you? What is the world going to think and say about you? And write those letters. And then once you know that's exactly what you want, well, just go backwards and get that done exactly. And now you know what it takes to be what you want to be. That's why I say, who am I? Where am I going? And why? Find your why and fly. Now, what you only need, though, is a few things. I'll tell you what you don't need. You don't need luck. You don't need ability. You don't even need intelligence. You don't need to be at the right place at the right time. You don't need help of friends. You don't even need money. But what you need is very simple. You need to believe that there are only 3 elements of success in business: product and marketing and you. You've got to accept full responsibility of the way things are in your life. Rich people know it, poor people don't believe it. You've got to assume full and complete responsibility for the way things are going to be in the future. Everything is only a result and not a cause. Rich people do this naturally because they know it lies within them and have a clear idea of what it is you want, your goals. Let your subconscious go to work. Give it a clear picture. If you don't like what's happening, change the picture. Beware, most of us spend time thinking of what we don't want. And you must be committed to your project and the process of success. Now, being happy comes from a conscious and unconscious choice of every moment. Having somebody to work with you can make the road much easier. This is what I said. If you have a partner, your spouse, and she's able to work with you, it makes basically the job easier. It's already 12:20. I've got to check my time here. Okay, where I'm at. Basically, what I'm going to be talking to you in the next little while, we're going to talk about the different laws. The laws of thinking, the laws of supply, the law of receiving, the law of attraction, the law of increase, and the law of compensation. And once you understand these laws, and they're actually laws, the same thing as gravity, or the same thing as basically chemical laws, once you know to apply them, you could apply it to any business. and you will be successful. I thank you very much for your attention. Talk to you
Robert?
next Tuesday. Yes.
Yep, good. Fantastic. I invited Mark in because I was checking to see how we had that difficulty last night with invite as speaker. So we did a test, and it does work. So there's Mark. Mark, good morning. Mark's been on the call the whole time, but only as an attendee. So then we made him a speaker here. So,
Hey, Joe, you
yes.
know, notice something I noticed, and I don't know if that's it. I see a young lady down there with the speaker off, but I see her picture down there right along with you.
Oh, that's Shirley. Oh, you see Shirley.
Yeah, but the speaker is, her microphone is off.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, she's
If
back.
she's there, then all she has to do is open up her mic, and she should be able to.
No, Mark, that's okay. She's in admin. She's checking the admin stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, we're still having a little difficulty. I guess we can understand it with Janice getting. It's just not that you're getting into the call. I think that something must be up, and I'm going to reach her today. So we're going to reschedule Janice for next Tuesday. Actually, probably for Thursday. We'll do that. But Robert, fantastic call. We're going to continue this for the next couple of weeks. We're going to make sure that that we have the time allotted. If you need to take a little extra time at times, that's okay. I know you want to stick to 30 minutes, which you have. Fantastic. And this is great information. I learned something today. I know this sounds crazy that we all should know this, but sometimes when other people say things, you might know it, but you really don't know it or are not applying it. And one of the things that we have to do is, and you said this, accept full responsibility for the way, not only the way things are in life, but the full responsibility for the way things are in the future. And that's really what the problem is with a lot of people, is not accepting that full responsibility. And it's something that I have to, apply as well. And I thank you for that. I took a lot of notes here, but I'm excited to continue on. I love these kinds of calls, and I love hearing things, writing them down. I'm a writer, so I write a lot of things down, and it's important to go over these things when you're done. So I want to remind everybody that this call is recorded. If you don't get the notice from the system telling you how to, you just go to youtube.com. In the search bar, you search out Joe Shoop or Joseph Shoop, and you'll see me on that bicycle right there. Click the button, and you will click on the videos, and there you'll see, or you won't even have to. Once you do that, you will see today's recording as well as hundreds of others. I wanted to say thank you for being here today, and we will clearly see you next week. Mark, are you still there? You got your mic on?
Yes. I'd like to say, Robert, great information, and everybody out there, I've got a page and a half of notes, and if you do that and you read over those notes, it gets within you, and again, you take responsibility and learn them and use them. That's what it's for. So like you say, the recording will be coming up, but again, you write down a page and a half of notes, and you've got some of it in your mind already, and then you just go back and review it, and then you take each one and apply it to yourself. It'll make you a better person, make you have a better business, and you can be a benefit to other people that you want to bring into your business. So I appreciate all that information, Robert.
Well, thank you very much. I love doing this, and next week it'll be a little different. We're going to get in even on some little tricks how to do some sales. So it's not only theory, we got to make people practice.
Hey, Robert, one of the things you learn as a lawyer is not to ask questions that you don't know the answer to, but I'm going to ask you a question I don't know the answer to.
Okay.
And that is this. I know recently, this is amazing to me. I was honored that you took the communication class. So I thought you might want to comment on that, on what your, I know it's I know that you wanted to do this class. You know, I know we talked a little bit about that, but I want to talk to you about that or ask you what your feelings were when you took the communication class. I have a bunch of people taking it today again.
It's a wonderful class because it gives the words and it gives the feeling and the attitude in which you got to play the role when you're approaching prospects. Basically, they don't know you and you don't know them, or even if you know them, you got to put it back to something serious. Look, we're playing with people's lives, and what you put in there and the way the interaction that you put into the training is exactly what people need to know. Not over information, just the facts, and basically ask them what they want, and then you're able to flush out all the dreamers and all these people that, oh no, this is too hard and what have you. They want things instantly, and there's no such thing as instant success unless you win the lotto, and most of the time if they do, the next year they're just as broke because they did not earn it. They won it, but they did not earn. What you earn, you keep and you cherish, and you become a good steward.
Yeah, I am so glad that you're incorporating it. You know, I feel like it ought to be part of the you know, the part of the class, part 2, 3, part 1, whatever, of the thinking part of this is what you're preparing people for. So I think these things go hand in hand, which is why we've connected and why we, you know, why we feel these processes go hand in hand. And I know Mark, I'll let him comment on that. But I spoke to somebody last night. I had a long conversation after our call regarding, you know, being successful and having the right attitude, and then what you just said, having that know-how to conduct yourself when you're speaking, whether you know the person or don't know that person, and having that know-how, being able to not fumble the ball when they start asking you questions, and understanding who you are in the process and not thinking you're the big shot that knows all the answers. And so, again, that's what the class does. But, Mark, I'm going to let you close the call here. And, Robert, again, thanks for being here. I'm looking forward to next Tuesday, same time, same place. And we'll get a hold of Janice. And I know Janice wanted to share things today. I have a feeling that, they're going through a very difficult time right now. And we'll get in touch with her. Anyway, Mark, over to you. Marco, your microphone is locked.
Okay. What I was saying, I'm sorry. What I was saying is just for everybody to remember, the terminology that you use is what's going to give the people that you talk to the perception as to what you're talking about, what you're offering, and everything. So that's why it's very important. That's why the class is very important. So with that being said, again, thank you, Robert, for being here. Everybody have a peaceful, blessing day. Go out, change some lives, and peace and blessings to you. And so this is Mark Stevens for our host, Joe Shue, and our guest, Robert. Peace and blessings, everyone. We'll see you next Tuesday at noon on The Breakfast Club. Make it a great day, everybody.
Life is short. Bye-bye.